Canvas later on after the class. Okay, let me share the screen for today's lecture. For today's lecture, you can get from the Canvas site. I got this noise. Okay, everybody can see the screen now. Okay, so let's start now. Okay, so last week I already studied the simple interest rate, right? Okay, so as we know that the simple interest calculation is based on 3 factors, right? Simple interest calculation. So can you recall what are the 3 factors? Can anybody recall what are the 3 factors? The original saving, right? Or we call it as principal, correct? Yeah, thank you. The first factor is the principal or the original saving or investment, right? Second factor, for calculating the interest rate offered, the simple interest rate offered by a bank or financial institution. Okay, the third factor is the third factor. How to calculate the interest earned for simple interest agreement. Okay, the first factor is principal. Second factor is interest rates offered. The third factor, yes, what is the answer? You want to say something? Time, right? The duration, right? Time, the duration of the investment. Right? So 3 factors, right? So these are the 3 factors that will influence the interest earned for simple interest investment. Okay, let's try to do a revision again now based on this example, all right? For applying the simple interest formula. Okay, so this question is 1,000 is invested for 3 years in a bank, earning a simple interest rate of 8% per annum. Find the simple interest earned. So we know that 1,000 is referred to the P. So we write down P. P is 1,000. For how long? 3 years. Because the unit of measurement for duration is already in years unit, so we just simply put T is equal to 3, right? And then the simple interest rate is 8%. 8% means 0.08. So bear in mind when we do the calculation, make sure that you convert the percentage. For R, you must convert the percentage from percentage into decimal number. Okay. So this question is looking for I. So we know we can apply the first formula that we learned for simple interest calculation. So I is equal to P multiply R multiply T. Okay. So I is 1,000. R is the simple interest rate. This is the rate. It's 8%. Then multiply 3 years. So you get 240. So within 3 years, this investment can earn $240 within 3 years. That is the meaning. So far so good. All right. Maybe we want to know more detail again. How does this interest, this $240 been earned every year? We may want to know in detail. Okay, in detail. We may want to know each year. How does this 240 be obtained for each year? Okay, so we use the same question again. We can show to you. Each year, how much interest earned? All right. So if they do separately without using formula, the first year is the original investment principal, right? Multiply 8% interest rate, and then multiply 1 year, duration 1 year. For year 1, the year 1 interest earned, you'll get $80. All right. So the accumulated amount at the end of year 1 year 1, that is the S1 is equal to 1,000 plus $80. Okay, 1,000 is principal, yeah, plus $80 is the interest earned in year 1. So the accumulated amount at the end of year 1 in the account is equal to 1,080, right? Okay. In year 2, how to calculate the interest calculation under the simple interest agreement? Okay, it's still using the same formula. I is equal to PRT, using the original investment principal, all right? Multiply 8%, multiply 1 year. So you get 80 also. So this is the simple interest earned in year 2, right? Simple interest earned in year 2. So it's still equal to $80, okay, in year 2. So how much is the accumulated amount at the end of year 2? Accumulated amount will be 1080. That is the year 1 accumulated amount, yeah? Plus the interest earned in year 2. So answer is 1160. So 1160 is 1080 plus the $80 interest earned in year 2. Yeah? So you'll get this value. All right. Okay. Then how about year 3? How much interest will be earned? For simple interest, the formula to calculate interest earned is still equal to I equal to PRT. So I get 1,000 multiply 8%, multiply 1 year. Okay. So year 3 is also equal to $80. This is the simple interest earned. Okay. Then how much is the accumulated amount at the end of year 3? Accumulated amount in the end of year 3 will be 1160. That is the year end accumulated amount plus the interest earned in year 3. So 1160 plus 80, you'll get 1240. All right. So in total, how much interest been earned in these 3 years? Answer is equal to, you can use this formula. I is equal to S minus P. S is the accumulated amount at the end of year 3, minus the original principal. So answer is still equal to 240, right? So this one is using, I try to break down the process, how the interest been earned in these 3 years. So far, so good, this one. But anyway, in practice, it's better for us to use the formula directly, to get the interest earned in 3 years, right? Faster. Okay. Otherwise, you can. I just want to show you the process. This is just to show you the process. But the faster way is to just simply use the formula to get the answer directly. So far, so good. Okay. So you may, from this process, you may find that the interest earned every year seems to be the same. 80, 80, 80. Okay, can you see that? Year 1, interest rate 80. Year 2 also 80. Year 3 also 80. So another name for the simple interest rate is also called as spread rate. Another name for simple interest rate is called as spread rate, FLAT, spread rate. Why? Because every year you may find that interest earned value is the same every year. So it's also called as spread rate, FLAT. Okay. All right. So today I'm going to introduce to you another method to calculate the interest calculation, and this is called as compound interest. Okay. So compound interest, what is so special about compound interest? Compound interest calculation is based on additional factor. Besides the P, the R, the T, okay, we know that is based on principal, right? Principal is the P, The interest rate offered by the bank, which is the R, and the third factor is the duration of the investment. Another factor is the interest earned from previous period. I repeat, besides the PRT, another factor that will affect the interest earned under the compound interest calculation is the interest earned from previous period. What's the meaning? That means that the interest earned in year 1 can be used to generate interest in year 2. Okay, similarly also, in year 3 interest calculation is based on the interest earned in year 1 and year 2 plus the principal in year 0. Okay. So that means that in short, the compound interest calculation is based on principal and also the interest generated from previous period. So let's try to study first using this about the same case study. Let us check how does the interest will be calculated under the compound interest calculation. Let's say this is the case. Okay, this is the case. The principal is still the same 1,000. Okay. The P is still the same, 1,000. Is invested for 3 years. So that means the duration of the investment is still 3 years. Same as just now the example 5. So T is still 3 years. No change. P is 1,000. Okay. So now you're asked to find the interest received at the end of year 3 if the investment earns 8% compound annually. So what is the new thing now? New thing is the interest rate now is using compound interest rate. How do we know it's compound interest rate? Because of this word. So this is the keyword, compound. So that means this 8% is the compound interest rate. Okay, this is the compound interest rate. This is no longer the simple interest rate. 8% is referred to the compound interest rate. It's still an interest rate, but it's compound interest rate. What is the meaning? That means the interest calculation is based on the principal and also the interest earned from previous period. Okay, another factor, interest earned from previous period also can help to generate interest. So let us try to do step by step. This one I need to copy. I just want to give you an example. Later on, I'm going to show you another formula we can use as a shortcut to calculate the interest earned for these 3 years. Okay, now I just want to show you step by step how to calculate the interest earned for each year. Okay, so for year 1, how much is the interest earned? So it's using the original principle because we know that in year 0 there is no interest earned, right? So in year 1, if you want to calculate the interest earned, you have to use the principal, the original investment, 1,000. This one, this amount, multiply 8%. 8% is from here. Okay. Multiply 1. Why 1? Because we want to identify the interest earned for year 1 only 1 year. Okay, year 1. So T is 1. So you may find that the year 1 interest earned is $80. Right? So how much is the accumulated amount at the end of year 1? Answer is 1,000 plus $80. So I get 1,080. Okay, so this is the S1, accumulated amount at the end of year 1. Okay, right. Then how about year 2? How much is the interest earned? Okay, don't forget, for compound interest, we have to include the principal and also the interest earned from previous year for calculating the interest earned. Okay, so now you may find that you have to use 1,080. You cannot use 1,000 anymore, because compound interest also have to consider the interest earned from previous period. So the year 2 interest earned is 1,080 multiply 8%, multiply 1 year. So it's equal to $86.40. Can you understand this part? Do you know what is the reason we have to use 1,080 but no longer 1,000? Yeah, can because for compound interest, the interest earned is based on principal and also the interest earned from year 1. Okay, right? So that means accumulated amount at the end of year 2 is equal to this value now. Right? How to get this value? That is, you can use 1,080, the year 1 accumulated amount, plus the year 2 interest earned. So the accumulated amount in year 2 is equal to this value. Okay. So far so good, Okay. Then how about year 3? Year 3 interest earned, how much? Year 3, it means we have to use the S2. We have to use the year 2 accumulated amount, multiply with 8%, multiply with 1. Accumulated amount in year 2, multiply with 8%, multiply with 1. The reason is because compound interest calculation is based on principal and also the interest earned from previous years. Okay. So the interest earned in year 3 is equal to $93.31. Okay. So at the end of year 3, how much is the accumulated amount? Answer is equal to 1166.4. The green color, the year 2 accumulated amount plus the year 3 interest earned. Okay. This plus $93.31. So you'll get 1,259.71. So this is the year 3 accumulated amount. Okay. So if the question asks you, okay, then how much is the interest earned in these 3 years? So we can use I is equal to S minus P. So we use the accumulated amount in year 3 minus the principal invested in year 0. So answer is equal to $259.71. So you may find that for compound interest, the interest earned every year is getting bigger and bigger, right? Year 1, interest earned 80. Year 2 is $86.40. Why? Because the interest earned in year 1 also can help to generate interest. That's why year 2 interest earned is also bigger now, right? And then year 3 also even bigger, because the year 1 and year 2 interest earned also can help to generate interest in year 3. Okay. So far so good, Okay. All right. In fact, there is a formula that we can use in order to calculate the accumulated amount of interest earned at once. Okay. We can use the same case study, but using another formula that we can use in order to calculate the accumulated amount in year 3 using the same case study. All right. So what is the formula we can use? If you want to calculate the future value of accumulated amount for compound interest, in lump sum, you can use this formula, okay, which is P, then bracket 1 plus K over M power Tm. Okay, but we have to understand first the meaning of all these variables. We need to understand first what is the meaning for compound interest calculation, future value. What is the meaning of each variable for this formula? All right. So P is still the same principle, no change. All right. K is referred to the this is the annual interest rate. K is the annual interest rate. M is referred to how many times the interest will be compounded within a year. How many times the interest will be given or distributed, okay, or calculated or revised within a year. Okay, that is M. T is referred to the investment period and is in years unit. So the problem now is the new thing is about the M. We have to understand first how to identify this M. We need to identify first the M, right? Okay, so this depends on the interest rate of the offered. How does the interest being calculated? Okay, if the interest is calculated yearly, that means 1 year. Okay, in 1 year, the interest will be given to the investor one time only, one time in a year. Okay, so M is equal to 1. Okay, if the interest is invested semi-annually, what's the meaning? That means every 6 months. Semi-annually means every half year, or every 6 months, right? So in 1 year, how many times the interest will be given to the investor? 2 times. Okay, it can be first time in June, second time in December. Okay, semi-annually means every half year or every 6 months. So M is equal to 2. Okay, in 1 year, interest will be given to the investor 2 times. That's the meaning. Okay, how about quarterly? Quarterly means every 3 months. Every 3 months. So in 1 year has how many quarters? 4 quarters. Okay, 1 year has 4 quarters. So M is equal to 4. So 1 quarter can be the first interest is given in March. Let's say in March, then the next payment should be in June, right? Followed by September, then followed by December. That will be the 4th quarter. Okay, so 1 year has 4 quarters. How about if the interest is calculated monthly? Monthly means the interest will be given to the investor every month. Okay, so 1 year has how many months? 12 months. So M is equal to 12. Okay. Weekly is, we have to assume for financial mathematics, 1 year has 52 weeks. Okay, 1 year has 52 weeks. Okay. Fortnightly, what is the meaning? Fortnightly means every 2 weeks. Okay, every 2 weeks means fortnightly. So how to identify the M value? We can use 52 divided by 2. 52 divided by 2, you'll get 26. So 1 year has 26 fortnights. Okay. Okay. Lastly, daily, we have to assume this is just ordinary year. So 1 year has 365 days. Okay. So if the interest is revised or calculated daily, that means M is equal to 365. Okay. All right. So you have to understand the concept of M before we can apply the formula. Okay. So now I go back to the front example. This example again. Okay. So let's try to use that formula in order to calculate the accumulated amount at the end of year 3 and then calculate the interest earned within these 3 years. All right. So the S value is equal to P 1,000, which is the initial investment. K is the annual rate. Annual rate is how many percent? 8%. K is from here, from this sentence, 8%. M is from where? From here, from this word. Annually. Annually means in a year, interest will be given one time only, annually, every year. So M is equal to 1. Okay. So this is 1. The power value for the M here is also 1. T is 3 years. Right? The investment period is 3 years. All right. So if we simplify the number inside the brackets, simplify, you'll get 1.08. The power number multiply is equal to 3, right? And then you can use calculator, simplify, and then leave the answer into decimal places. You'll get $1,259.71. So once you get the S value, calculate the I using the second formula that we have learned during the last week lecture, right? So because we know that S is equal to P plus I, right? S is equal to P plus I. So we can transpose the formula to get the I. So I is equal to maturity value in year 3 minus the principal that you invested in year 0. So you get this value, right? So some students now may ask, then can we use this formula to get the answer? The formula that we learned last week, I is equal to PRT to get the value of interest directly? No. Why? Because for compound interest, the interest calculation is not only based on principal, but it's also based on the interest earned from previous semester or previous year. As a result, for compound interest, this formula is no longer applicable. You cannot use this formula for doing any calculation for compound interest. This formula is no longer valid. Cannot use this formula anymore. So I delete. Cannot use for compound interest. Yeah. So this one I delete. So you may find that like for compound interest, it's good for the investor. Why? Because you may find that the interest earned is increasing exponentially like this. This is the orange line is referred to the interest, the future value. Okay, for compound interest, you may find that it's increasing exponentially, right? But for simple interest, it's increasing, but it's a straight line. It's a straight line type of increment, right? So it's slower compared to compound interest calculation. Okay, so if you are the investor, usually we'll go for compound interest. Okay, more return, higher return compared to simple interest for investor. Okay, so let's try one more example for compound interest, how to apply. Okay. Okay, this question is just to test your understanding on periodic interest rate and also the annual rate. Okay, so this question is, an amount is invested for 3 years with an interest rate of 6.5%. PM means per annum, okay? But will compound fortnightly. Calculate the period interest rate and also the number of compounding period. Okay, so we have to understand the meaning of this case study first. So an amount is invested for 3 years. That means the investment period is 3 years. T is equal to 3. Okay, no issue. Okay, 6.5% PA compound because of this keyword compound. So that means this 6.5% is the compound interest rate. Okay, it's the annual compound interest rate. So 6.5, you can put K. Okay, this is the annual rate. Okay, compound fortnightly. This is also a keyword. Fortnightly will tell you the M value. Okay, M is equal to 26. If you see the word fortnight, that means 26. M is 26. Okay. Okay. So now we are asked to calculate the period interest rate. What's the meaning? That means you are asked to calculate the fortnight interest rate. The annual rate is 6.5%. 6.5% is the annual rate. 6.5% is the annual rate. Now you are asked to calculate the fortnight annual fortnight rate is how much? So you have to use the annual rate divided by 26. Annual rate divided by 26, so 0.25. So this is the fortnight rate. Okay, how about the number of converting period? That means how many times the interest will be revised or calculated. That is the meaning of converting period. So we have to use the investment period 3 years, multiply with M. Okay, multiply with how many times the interest will be revised in a year. So 3 multiplied 26, you'll get 78 times. So for this investment, there will be 78 interest being paid to the investor. Okay? 78 times. Okay, let's try to this example. Example 8 is to test understanding on how you apply the formula of S, the future value. Okay, so this question is an investment of 15,000 is invested for 4 years. So we know that P is equal to 15,000. T is 4, right? Confirm. Okay, 9% compound monthly. So this is the keyword. 9%, we know that is the interest rate. But what type of interest rate? This is the keyword. Compound. Compound is the keyword. So this is the compound interest rate. So we use K, no longer using R. Okay, we use K to represent compound interest rate. K, don't use R anymore. Okay, because of this word, compound. Okay, monthly. This word will tell you the M value. Okay, the red color monthly indicates the M value. Okay, so for this question, the interest will be revised every month. So M is equal to 12. Okay, M is equal to 12. That is the technique to identify the M. Okay, so once you have the information, you're asked to get the S value. So we calculate the value by using the formula. Okay, apply this formula, substitute the number into each variable, simplify the number inside the brackets first, all right, followed by the power number. You'll get $21,471 in 8 cents. So once you have the S value, you can calculate the compound interest earned. Interest earned means the I. So how to get the I value? I is equal to S minus P. Minus P is derived from the second formula that we learned last week. All right. So S is equal to future value. Okay, minus the P. P is the present value. P is the initial investment. So it's this number from here, P. Right. So simplify is equal to 6471.08. So this is the interest earned within 4 years. So far so good, okay, So in short, we cannot use the formula I equals to PRT for compound interest, cannot, we have to get the S value first. After we have the S value, then you have to use this formula, second formula, to get the I. Okay, so for compound interest, there is no direct formula to get the I value. You need to get the S, and then using the I equals P, S minus P to get the I value. So far so good, okay. In fact, that this formula can be transposed, right? The formula of S can be transposed in order to get the P, to get the K, to get the T also, all right? This formula, we can transpose this formula, all right? In order to get the P value, the K, and also the T, all right? So for your level, all this formula will be given to you during the exam, okay? All this formula will be given to you, but you must know how to apply, right? So based on the formula we learned this afternoon, this formula, the compound interest formula for future value, if we transpose, that means the P is equal to this, right? It's S then divided by this whole thing. And the unit of measurement for P is always in dollar. The final answer for P must be in dollar sign, Okay. Then how about T? T, if you transpose the formula based on this one, based on this, if you transpose, you may find that it's equal to log S over P divided by log 1 plus K over M then divided by m. It looks very long, but I'm going to show you later on how to get the answer. Okay. The final answer for T is always in years unit. Okay. The final answer for T is in years unit. Remember. Okay. Last one. K. K is referred to this, the annual rate. Okay. Calculate the annual rate. So if we transpose the formula based on this formula, the first formula, then K is equal to S over P power 1 over Tm minus 1 and then multiply M. The unit for K is always a percentage PA. PA means per annum. So the final answer for K must be in this unit. Percentage and then put PA at the back. Okay. So this three formula no need to by heart. Will be given in the exam. You can refer. Okay, but you must know how to apply. Okay, so let's try to use some example. Okay, in order to learn how to apply these three formula. So we start from example number 9. Okay. So an amount is invested, an amount. So we don't know how much. Okay, we know that, okay, certain amount is invested. For how long? 4 years. So that means T is equal to 4, right? Confirm T is equal to 4 at 12% per annum. Okay, compound. Because of this word compound, so that means 12% is referred to the compound interest rate. So K is equal to 12%. Okay. Quarterly. Quarterly means the M is equal to 4. 1 year has 4 quarters. Okay. So these are the keywords that you must know, because all these keywords will tell you something, some information. Okay. Okay. So now, if the value of the investment after 4 years is $80,235.32, what was the principal? So what is the meaning of all this word? 4 years, that means the investment period is 4 years. T is equal to 4, right? $80,235.32 must be the S, right? Future value S. Already given to you. So now you're asked to get a P. So what can you do is you apply this formula. Okay. So this formula will be given in the test or exam. You just need to plug in this formula. Okay. Apply this formula. Then substitute the number into each variable. Okay. So simplify. So we simplify the number inside the bracket first. Simplify this one. Right. You'll get 1.03 inside the bracket here. Right. Power number simplify. You'll get 16. Then you use calculator to get the answer directly. So it's go to 50,000, the principal. Okay, quite direct now. The problem is only how to interpret the meaning of each word or the sentence. That is the problem. That is the issue, right? Okay. Example 10. Example 10 is to calculate the T. Okay, so let us analyze the question. How long? Okay, and then you have to leave the unit in years. That means you are asked to calculate the investment duration now, investment period. How long? For 15,000 to accumulate to 25,000 at an interest rate of 7.5% per annum, compound monthly. And then you have to leave the answer in 2 decimal places for the T. Okay. So from here, we know that 15,000 must be the P. 25,000 should be the S, right? Because this number is greater than 15,000, so should be the S logic. Okay. So bear in mind, your S value must be greater than the P. And then your P should be greater than the I. Okay. So P and S already given. So we write down first the information. Interest rate 7.5% per annum, compound. Okay, because of this word compound, so that means 7.5% is the K. Okay, it's no longer the R, but it's the K. Okay, monthly will tell you the value of M. Monthly means 1 year has 12 months, so M is equal to 12. Okay, so once you have the information, you apply the formula of this T formula. Okay, you copy from the formula list. All right, so let us try to simplify this because this equation involves log. So how to simplify? Okay, so S divided by P is here, this part, right? So this part is log 5/3. You may need to use calculator, okay, in order to simplify the log value. Log 5/3, okay, divided by log of this one, then over 12. You'll get 6.83 years. Okay, 6.83 years. So the challenging part is you must know how to use the calculator to that involve the function of log. Right? Okay, next example. Next example is to calculate the K using this formula, which is transposed from the formula of S. Okay, so K is referred to the annual rate, the annual compound interest rate. Okay, so let us analyze the question. Bella invested 4,000 in an investment fund that compounding daily. After 5 years, she received 53 or $5,399.30 in her fund. Okay, this is the accumulated amount after 5 years. So find the annual interest rate of this fund. Annual interest rate means the K. Annual interest rate is a K. And then you have to round the answer to 1 decimal point. Okay, so now we have to write down first the information given from this question. So P is 4,000 initial investment. So we put P equals to 4,000. Okay, so this interest rate is using compound interest rate because this word compound. Okay, daily I'll tell you the M is 365. Okay, after 5 years, so that means the investment period involves 5 years. Accumulated amount is this one. Okay, $5,339.30. This is the accumulated amount, S. Okay, so you're asked to get the K, K value. So we just copy this formula from the formula list. All right, and then substitute the number into each variable. The S, P, indicate here first. All right, followed by the power value. T is 5 years. M is 365. Minus 1 is the constant number, and then multiply 365, which is the M. So we need to simplify the number inside this bracket first. Simplify this one, right? Power, you need to simplify this value. After that, minus 1, and then multiply with 365. So it's about 6.0% per annum. So this is the annual rate. Okay. So this 3 example just want to show you how to get the T value, the P value, and also the K value. Using the same formula, about the same formula. Okay. So far so good. So far okay. Okay. So you may find that right. The interest, compound interest, seems to be got so many terms. It can be like compound yearly, semi-annually, quarterly. Wow. So that means the way to revise the interest can be have different way. Okay. So now it's like this. So in financial world, okay, if the interest is compounded once in a year, only one time only, then this type of interest rate is called as effective rate. Okay, this is a special name given by these financial financial people. Okay, so if the interest is compounded once in a year only, once in a year, then this type of interest rate is called as effective rate. Okay, if the interest calculation is compounded more than one time in a year, such as compound semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, weekly, fortnightly, daily, all these means the interest being compounded more than one time in a year, then this type of interest are called as nominal rate. Okay? So nominal rate means the interest rate which are compounded more than once in a year. We call this as nominal rate. If the interest rate is calculated only one time in a year, it's called as effective rate. Okay. So I just want to differentiate the effective rate and nominal rate for you. Okay. Because there are so many ways to calculate the compound interest rate. So if you want to compare which interest rate is better for investor or which interest rate is more costly for the borrower, then it's better for us to convert all of the interest rate into effective rate so that we can do the comparison. I repeat, since those interest calculation can be either semi-annually, monthly, daily. So it's very hard for us to do comparison, which interest rate is more costly or more return, right, for the investor. So in order to do so, one way is to convert all of the interest rate into effective rate, so that we can do comparison. So the higher the effective rate, the more costly is the borrowing, or it can be the higher return is the investment, right? So how to convert the nominal rate into effective rate? Okay, how to convert the nominal rate into effective rate? How? Okay, so this is the formula. This is the additional formula that we learned, right? The last formula for this chapter, last formula, right? So effective rate is equal to 1 plus yearly rate. K is the yearly rate, annual rate, divided by M. M is the how many times the interest will be compounded. Okay, power M minus 1. So in this case, K can be also referred to the nominal rate. This K is also referred to the nominal rate as well, right? So E is equal to 1 plus nominal rate divided by M, power M minus 1. Okay, so let's try to apply this formula for the example 12. Okay, so but this one, okay, so let's try this formula, this example first. So Bill invests 1,000 in an account that pays 12 cents per annum compound annually for 1 year. Okay, so for this question, M is equal to 1. Why do we know that M is equal to 1? Because of this word, compound annually. Okay, so this is for Bill case. Okay, how about Chris? Another investor invests 1,000 also, same principle, in an account that pays 12% per annum, but compound monthly for 1 year. So the investment period is still the same, but now the M is 12 for Chris. Okay, so for Chris, investment has more interest been revised or calculated, okay, or given to Chris. Okay, so which account is more profitable? Okay, in order to answer this question, there are two ways to answer. You can try to compare the S value. For this question, because the P is given, so we can compare the S without calculating the effective rate, right? We can compare the S value for both. So let's calculate the future value that will be received by Bill. Bill. Okay, so we can apply the first formula we learned this afternoon using the S formula. So P is 1,000, no issue. 1 is the constant number. For Bill, the nominal is 12%, compound annually. So M is equal to 1. So this one is because compound annually, right? This one is because compound annually, right? P is 1 here is because 1 year investment, right? This one is because M is equal to 1. Okay, so let's simplify. The number inside the brackets is equal to 1.12. The power number is 1. Okay, so simplify, I get 1120. Okay, so this is the accumulated amount at the end of year 1 for Bill. Okay, how about Chris? Chris would use the same formula, but now the difference is here. M is 12. Okay, M is 12. So for Chris, the future value is $1,126.83, which is slightly higher, right? Which is $6.83 higher. Okay, so that means Chris' account is more profitable as compared to Bill because Chris will receive a higher maturity value. Okay, so we can use S formula when we know the P, right? But in some of the cases, P may not be given. If that's the case, we can compare the effective rate. Okay, we use the same case study, but now we compare the effective rate for both. Okay, use the same case, but now compare the effective rate. Okay, so for Bill, we know that the effective rate is equal to 1 plus the yearly rate, right, divided by 1. Why 1 here for Bill? Because for Bill, the interest calculation is annually. So M is equal to 1. Power 1 and then minus 1. So simplify is 12%, right? Then how about Chris? Chris is nominal rate is also 12%, but the M is 12, right? M is 12. Power M is 12 also, minus 1 is equal to 12.68%. So Effective rate for Chris is higher, it's 12.68%. Okay, so Chris will receive higher return. Okay, all right, next one. Okay, for example 14, you can also use either S formula or can use E. Both method you can use in order to get the answer. You can compare the S or you can compare the E. No issue. All right. Okay, so let's analyze the question. Brian wishes to invest 8,000 in a fixed deposit account for 1 year. He has two options. Okay, Bank A offers 3.7% interest compound semi-annually. So M is equal to 2 that is the meaning. Semi-annually means M is equal to 2. Okay, Bank B offers 3.75%. The annual rate is 3.75%. Okay, but this interest will be compounded annually. So M is equal to 1. So which bank should Brian choose? And give your reason. Okay. So for this example, you can either use S to do comparison or you can use effective rate. Either one. Okay, let's try to use effective rate. Okay. So effective rate of Bank A is how much? Okay. So using the formula 1 plus the nominal rate 3.7% from here, 3.7%, divided by M is 2, power M, 2 minus 1. So I get 3.73%. This is for Bank A effective rate. Okay, then how about Bank B? Effective rate? Bank B effective rate is equal to 3.75%. How do we know? Because for Bank B, the interest is compound annually, already given annually, right? So effective rate, this is the effective rate already. 3.75% is the effective rate for Bank B. Okay, because it's compound annually, so we know that effective rate for Bank B is 3.75%. Okay, now we can do comparison. So which interest rate is higher? This one, this one is higher, right? Bank B is higher. So that means if Brian is an investor, then Brian should choose Bank B because can get higher return. Okay, can have higher return for investor. But for borrower, should choose Bank A because the cost is lower. Okay, but for borrower, okay, I think we have last example. Okay, then we can call it there. I think you have classes later on, right? Okay, last example for today. So okay, Alex wishes to borrow some money, and now Alex is a borrower. Okay, he's a borrower now. Okay, he would like to borrow money to finance some business expansion. He has two different quotes. Okay, two different offers from either A and also B. Bank A. Bank A offer 15.2% compound annually. Okay, compound annually. So that means this is the effective rate offered by Bank A, because compound annually means only revised one time. The interest will be revised one time in a year. Okay, so 15.2% is the effective rate offered by Bank A. Okay, then how about Bank B? Bank B charges 14.5% compound monthly. Compound monthly means M is equal to 12. So 14.5% is the nominal rate only. Nominal rate is not effective rate. So need to convert to effective rate in order to do comparison. Okay. So this question does not provide the principal. We don't know how much. So if that's the case, we cannot use S formula anymore. We have to use effective rate formula to do comparison. Okay. So now the question is asking, which bank provide a better deal? Better deal for Alex. So Alex should choose the effective rate, the lowest one, right? Because this can help to reduce the cost, right? Minimize the cost of borrowing. So let's choose the deal with the lowest effective rate. Okay, so let's calculate first. The effective rate for Bank A is how much? 15.2. How do we know it's 15.2? Because for Bank A, the interest rate is compound annually, already known. M is equal to 1. So this is the effective rate. 15.2% is the effective rate. Okay, Bank B effective rate is, you have to use the formula, the nominal rate divided by M. Okay, M is 12. It's from here, monthly, right? Power 12 minus 1. So simplify is equal to 15.5%. Okay. So it seems to be Bank A has lower effective rate. So that means cost of borrowing is lower for Alex. So Alex should choose Bank A. So far so good? Okay, so today what we have learned? We have learned the difference between the simple interest and compound interest. We also learned how to use the formula of S, the S formula to calculate the compound interest future value, right? We also learned how to transpose the formula of S in order to get the P, the T, the K for compound interest question. Finally, we also have learned how to calculate the effective rate. Okay, convert all the nominal rate to effective rate so that we can do comparison, which interest rate is better for either the investor or for the borrower. Okay, so we have finished chapter 3. So the coming tutorial, you can try to do the tutorial question, right? Yeah. So any question we can discuss tomorrow, So far so good. Okay, so I believe all of you already received your test 1 result, And then for your project 1, I'm still doing marking. I try to finish by this week, so that you can start to do your project 2. Okay. Maybe I'll just extend. I'll extend your project 2 due date All right. I'll extend maybe after week 12 Okay. All right. So if no other question, we just call there. I'll see you either tomorrow or Friday. And attendance, please sign your name. Okay. So for the online students, it's okay. I can take your attendance based on the Microsoft Teams. All right. So online students, do you have any questions before we call a day? Okay, I'll stop to do recording now. We have Joris, Dayang, Samiza. And Tabit. Okay, if no other question, then we just call there. Bye-bye. I think somebody, just now press the button. I think I may not be able to do the recording just now. Okay, bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.